Hello team, welcome back. And today we will see how we can validate the resources before creating them or before deploying them. Although there is no need to validate the resources because whenever you are executing the Helm install, Helm will automatically validate all the resources before sending those YAMLs to the Kubernetes for deployment. But sometimes you may face the need that what are the resources this Helm is going to deploy, what could be the values of these resources. So we will see how we can do that. So here we are on the Kubernetes master node, and let's check what is the command we executed to create the MariaDB deployment. So if you remember earlier, we have executed this command to create the MariaDB deployment. This is the YAML file we provided as a input YAML where we have some custom values which we want to supply as a dynamic to my helm deployment, and this is the chart which we have deployed. Now we have seen if we will execute this command, it will simply deploy a few resources and we will get the output. But let's suppose you want to validate that what are the resources this particular chart is going to deploy and what could be the values of those resources. Is there any way to do that, or is there any way so that we get to know what are the resources will be created? Yes. If you will execute the same command with a option hyphen hyphen dry hyphen run hyphen hyphen dry hyphen run. So what this particular command will do, this particular command will execute the first four stages of your deployment workflow which we have seen in the last lecture, but it will not execute the fifth flow where the Kubernetes resources actually will be deployed on the Kubernetes, right? So it will load the chart, it will parse the YAML, it will generate the YAML, and then it will validate the YAML against the Kubernetes, but it will not deploy them on the cluster. Let's hit enter and you will get a very long output. Let's go through this particular output. So this output is divided in the three sections. This is the first section where we are getting the details about this deployment, revision, deployed time, name, and status. You can see status is pending install. This is not installed till date. Now from here we are getting the second section where we are getting all the resources which will be deployed as a part of this installation, and you can see these all are the YAML files, right? And these files are basically separated by these three hyphens. So very first we have the service account. This is the service account which your MariaDB deployment will be used, which will create in a namespace database. Then it will create a secret as well. This secret will be used by your DB where it is creating the MariaDB root password and MariaDB password. Then it is creating a config map where you have the all configuration which will be supplied to your MariaDB deployment at runtime. Then it is going to create a service, right? Using this service, you can access your MariaDB deployment from the client pod. Then it is creating a stateful set. Here is the definition of the stateful sets. We have the complete definition of the stateful set where we have a lot of things. And after the stateful set, we are getting the output. We are getting the output in the nodes, and this is the output which you will get once the Helm deployment will be success. So using this way, you can see you can validate all the resources, right? Whatever the resources you are creating using the Helm chart, you will get all the resources, that what are the resources are going to be created in the Kubernetes and what could be the values of these resources. Over here you can see we are getting the values from the custom file which we have supplied, which is the database name, username, and a lot of things. So this kind of validation is very helpful. Whenever you are creating your own Helm chart, you are creating the Helm chart for your own deployment, you need to validate these Helm chart multiple times before issue the deployment command, right? Before you deploy those resources on the Kubernetes cluster, you need to validate each and everything before the deployment, and in that case dry run is very helpful for your operations. So this is the way how we can validate the configuration, how we can generate the configuration without deploying the resources actually on the Kubernetes cluster. Thank you, team. See you next time.